welcome back everyone to Master Game Design, Unreal Engine 5 Stylized Environment and third-person blueprint course. In the last lesson we left ourselves with a nice setup for the stairs, and now we're going to continue on with the setup and actually get the nice entrance for this section over here. So the way we're going to do it is, firstly, we need to consider ourselves the actual stairs that we have over here. I'm going to go ahead and hold Alt and duplicate it, and instead of just having it a normal kind of an entrance like this, I wanted to curve in alongside this platform. So the way we're going to do it is actually going to be quite simple. We're going to first of all click Ctrl Z to make sure that this is nicely rotated. I'm going to click R as well to just upscale it a little bit to the side like so. Since I want it to be a little bit more of an extra, just like that. And then afterwards, the next thing that I want to do is basically going to be making use out of the modeling tool functionality. So upper left hand corner, we're going to go ahead and select the modeling mode like so. And we already used lattice deformer. So within the deform tab over here, we already used this one, but this time we're going to be using warp module itself. Before actually doing that though, what we need to do is we need to make sure that this is a separate static mesh. Otherwise it'll replace every single staircase and it'll just make every staircase of that mesh to be curved. So let's go ahead and do that. We're going to go all the way to the top. We're going to go on to create tab and select a duplicate. So let's go ahead and select that. We're just going to keep everything by default, generating it within a new folder. Let's go ahead and hit accept. And now we got ourselves a separate mesh for this section. So we're going to go all the way down to the warp tool, and you can already see it bending it nicely to the section. We might even consider doing it what we did to the platform before in regards to just adding topology, extra topology, to make sure that we don't have any bends. But maybe for this particular case, before we would have maybe used the retopologizer, but in this particular case it might actually work in our favor, seeing that it actually deforms this section in a nice way, and I quite like this, so I might go ahead and keep it as is basically. And yeah, we're just going to basically control some of the settings. So when we select bend, we have a couple of options over next to its settings. The operation type by default is set to bend, meaning that we have other options like twist and whatnot, but we're going to use bend, which will basically just bend the entire mesh. Then we have upper bound and lower bound. This will basically control this yellow line over here that will basically go all the way across by default entire mesh. If we were to lower this down, it would put a restriction, so it wouldn't affect the entire mesh. If we were to have like a different staircase where it ends with a nice base type of selection, like a platform on the top, we maybe would have had to use like upper bound to just bring this out. And as you can see, oh sorry, not upper bound, we would have used the lower bound. I'm just going to go ahead and click Ctrl Z real quick to go back to its default, or actually just going to click this over here. We would have used a lower band, as you can see, to just kind of straighten the top a little bit and keep it neutral at the very top. I'll just go ahead and keep it as is though. And yeah, using the default 100 minus 100 usually works the best. And in regards to the bend, we're going to go ahead and just keep it as 90. Although right now, because we basically changed it from the default that was provided by the mesh, we're just going to slightly lower this down actually up to this amount. I think that's going to be working much better. And actually, just looking at this, we might need to go and bend it the other way itself, or the other side as well, but I think we can just go ahead and keep it. So I'm going to keep it at something like 60 degrees, just making sure that it looks nice overall. Maybe even increase it actually to 70. So, and the rest of these options, lock bottom, show original, they don't really matter to us at this point. So let's go ahead and just simply click accept, and we're going to get ourselves this look for the staircase, which we're going to be now able to just put it over here to get ourselves a nice result. If you're wondering about the collision itself though, let's go ahead and click on it to see how it looks like. We can go on to show collision, so show simple collision, and we're still going to get ourselves this sort of a collision, so we're going to need to fix that. We are going to be using convex decomposition for this particular case, with the increased vertices and hull count. I'm going to set the hull count to maximum this time and just going to hit apply just to see how this would look like. And it's going to give us this kind of result. It's a bit more messy, but it's a quick way of doing it. And just having a hull count will make sure that every step is properly done. So afterwards, we can now go ahead and click play just to test it out real quick. And there we go. It goes up really nicely. So I quite like the overall setup for this. I'm going to maybe rotate it a little bit and just add it to this section. As for the other end, we're going to pretty much do the same. We're going to hold Alt and just put it up on the other side. And a quick way to flip this around is by clicking R and just kind of inverting one of the values for the scale. So I'm going to invert the red value. I'm actually just going to use this R over here. So setting it to -1. Oh, sorry. Seems like I set it to the wrong scale. There you go. So -1, like so. It gives us a real nice type of a setup. Just going to rotate it a little bit, making sure it's straightened out like so, and have it something like this. So now from both ends, it has a nice section. Might even bring this forwards a little bit actually, to make sure it's not stuck in a building like that. And yeah, quite like the overall design. It has a nice symmetry. We might even make it more symmetrical to this. I might even bring it a little bit more to the left, mainly because once you enter from the gate, you're going to get this kind of result. So you need to maybe put it a little bit more to the left, and there we go. All right, so in regards to this section, we're going to cut it off a little bit with one of the buildings. I'm just going to make use out of the most basic block that we have over here. We're just going to put it up to the side, just like that, just to kind of fill in the space mainly, and to help us get a more nicer transition for those kind of circular type of design. So it wouldn't look like the entire city is just made out of squares and blocks, and we actually deform the city a little bit in regards to the overall aesthetics. So something like this is going to work quite well. Then we might need to consider something like a pot or something of that side. Alternatively, what we can do is just we can go on to one of its assets. Actually, I'm going to go on to a quick content browser selection. So I'm just selecting one of the assets that I had, just going to this to open ourselves up with the folder. And within it, I'm just going to search for a roof. Since I don't like this flat roof, I want to kind of break it up a little bit. I'm going to use a square roof over here, kind of put it sideways like so, and just bring it in just like that. Maybe I'll make it a little bit larger, just in X and Y values, so it wouldn't make it too thick in regards to the Z values. Something like that is going to work quite nicely. There we go. We got ourselves a nice roof. We are going to be populating the window center whatnot and talk a little bit about the urban section in a bit. For now though, let's go ahead and close this section over here. And actually, while we're at it, I'm going to go ahead and select the stair. I'm going to hold Alt and just put this over here as well. Something like so. I think that's going to look quite alright. I'm going to take off the landscape a little bit for this section. I'm going to go to flatten, make sure that it's within the layer landscape. And then I'm going to select the pet tool, going to just reorganize the height and just kind of remove this section over here just to kind of uncover this area. And I might as well just fix this up real quick while we're at it. Going to make sure that this building is not floating basically, like so. Something like that. We want to be given a bit of an extra thickness since it's going to have a sandy texture. It has to look solid enough for this section. This building is floating. I'm going to take care of it in a bit. For now though, I'm going to leave it as is, since I know it's going to just have a simple base. And actually I might as well just take care of it now. And yeah, I'll probably just add one of the buildings which has a nice design. So I'll just go ahead and select this one over here, hold Alt, put it up to the side, just like that. And this time I might even just rotate it around a little bit, put it to the ground, just like that. And I'm considering what to do in regards to this block, so I might even just bring it outwards like so. And I think this will look quite alright, but of course we need to fix this a little bit, so I'll just bring it to the side a little bit, like so. And I think this will look quite nice. Maybe this section needs to be going inwards a little bit, like so. I'm going to check, and this is going to be overlaid. And I'm wondering what to do in regards to this, but Actually, I'm not going to worry about it because I'll add an alleyway arc over here, so we'll be able to hide this out of the way. So yeah, I'm not going to worry about that actually. And I think I'm going to leave the rest as is. It looks slightly offset, but it actually kind of fits within the urban area. So yeah, that's going to be quite all right. And I think we're going to leave this for now. We're going to continue on with the entrance actually in the next lesson. So thank you so much for watching, and I'll be seeing you in a bit.